guys, it's John Barrett with Level Up Your Leadership, where I want to help you get better in what you do, give you visual leadership lessons to help you grow. Today, I want to talk to you about the no gap schedule. Now listen, if you want to be productive, you have to be intentional about your schedule. In fact, the secret to success is in your schedule. If I were going to sit down and coach you one-on-one, one of the first things that we would do is begin to talk about how you approach your schedule and how you plan your day. Because again, the secret of success is found in your schedule. I would say, show me your calendar. And I would look at it and I can tell you based on your calendar where you're going and how successful you're going to be. Your calendar is the window into your productivity. It's the window into your future. I'm telling you, it all lies within there. You will never be your best unless you get a hold of how to be intentional with your schedule, with your calendar, and to figure it out. What I want to share with you guys today is something that I think will revolutionize your intentionality and your ability to be more productive. People come up to me all the time. They say, John, how do you get everything done that you do? You write books, you do videos, you do podcasts, you write articles, you go speak, you train, you do one-on-one coaching with over 50 clients that you work with one-on-one coaching. You serve in your local church. You help out in the community. You do this. You've got a family of 6 people total. How do you do all of this? How does it work? And I look at them and I say, well, I'm incredibly intentional about that right there, my schedule. Incredibly intentional. In fact, everything that I'm going to teach you today, I practice this almost every single day. Literally, not just during the work day. I mean, I look at this in my personal life as intentional as I do with my work life. So what I want to share with you is this idea of a no-gap schedule, a no-gap calendar. Because what I found is that most people, when I look at their calendar, I say, hey, pull it up, let me see it. All they have on this calendar, okay, if this is their calendar, let me just kind of create just a grid here, just a template. This isn't an exact calendar, but let's just look at it. What I would look at on this day, say this was a Monday. Most people are just saying, okay, I've got a meeting here, and I've got this kind of meeting over here, and I need to follow up with so-and-so over there. And that's all they've got on the calendar. These kind of just generic kind of things where maybe they just block out just a little chunk of time on the calendar that they've put in for this meeting, and then they go ahead and block it out for this meeting on the time slot, and that's all they've got. And then they kind of fill in all the rest as they go about their day. This is the worst thing to do. In fact, this is where you get off focus. Because most people, when they wake up, they get up, they get going, they clock in the work, they probably check their emails, and then they're like, oh my gosh, I got to get this done, I got to get this done. Okay, oh, what time is it? Oh gosh, it's already 9:15. I got to get ready for that meeting at 9:30. And so they're scrambling, they get ready, they get done at 9:30, the meeting goes over, it's supposed to end at 10:30, it's 10:45, as we all know, and all of a sudden now they're going, okay, it's 10:45, ooh, I probably need to eat around noon. Okay, that gives me an hour and 15 minutes. What am I getting? And then they just check their email because it's the path of least resistance. Let me catch up. Okay, I don't want to jump into that task. I don't have enough time. I've only got 45 minutes now, and I need to eat. I'm getting lightheaded. I don't want to jump into that. Oh, you know what? I'll go ahead and do that. Then somebody makes a request, and we're like, okay, hold on, let me get that for you. And then we run them that report. You get the point. And we're doing this all throughout our day. We're just kind of figuring it out as we go. And every now and then we've got a few things on the calendar that we know that we're looking forward to, but it's usually just big things. This does not work, right? Like cancel this. This is what you've got to do. You need to have your whole day laid out before you even start your day. Now, I know that there's going to be audibles. I know there's pushback here. We'll talk about that in a minute. But listen, this is how you need to do it. You need to look at your day and begin to say, okay, here's the deal. I'm going to go into these blocks of time and I'm going to fill it in. So you're going to say, look, I've got a meeting right here and I've got to do lunch right here. There's my block at noon, let's just say, okay? You're going to say, all right, that gives me at 10:30 when the meeting ends, I've got an hour and a half to go through and work on my calendar. What am I going to do? You need to already know as soon as that meeting ends exactly what you're going to do. I'm going to work on project X, and I'm going to work on that for an hour, and then that gives me about a 30-minute window right before I go into lunch, and there I'm going to check emails, and I'm going to respond and do what I need to do. There's my block. Here's my lunch block. You get the point. Right after lunch, I've got an hour until my 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock meeting, let's just say, and what I'm going to do is work on project X, and then I've got my 2 o'clock. I'm going to check my email and respond, give myself 30 minutes to do that, not just get lost in it forever. I'm going to shut it down when I don't need it, and I'm going to work on doing this down here because I've got a block on the calendar. You get the point until your day ends. You've got it all laid out before you what you're going to do. That's how intentionality works. That's the secret to your success. Because as Stephen Covey taught us years ago, right? 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, that you don't just prioritize your schedule, right? And just look and say, okay, well, what is it? How do I prioritize it? No, no, no. You schedule your priorities. You get intentional. You beat people to the punch. So when someone says, can I get with you during this time? You're not just making things up in the moment. You're saying, hey, I've got a window right here that I can do this, but I'm pretty full, so I've got 10 minutes I can work on that. See, you're intentional. You know what you can do with your time. Now, if you need to schedule a block of time in there that's just wild card time, that's just kind of given to whatever, that's fine. I'd rather you do that, but I want you to work to a no-gap schedule. Now, you can do this at the end of the day before the next day starts. You could sit down and just say, okay, what's going to happen the next day? In fact, I heard a mentor years ago that said this: never begin your day until it's all done on paper. And then he went even further and said, never end your day until you have the next day all planned out of what you're going to be doing. Because you've got to be incredibly intentional. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't make audibles. I understand different industries, different rhythms of organizations. You've got things all over the place and you've got to be available and all that. I get that. But start somewhere. Even if you give yourself blocks of time that are just catch-up times. Like these are just windows where I can just catch up and do whatever I want. Again, like a wild card time. That's fine. But get intentional about all these other blocks. Know exactly what they are and what you're going to be doing right there. Fill them in so that you've got everything on the calendar laid out throughout the week. Now, you can make audibles, but here's the brilliant thing, especially if you have a hard time saying no to people. This is great because instead of lying to them or making it up or feeling awkward in the moment where you're like, well, I guess I could do that for you. You know exactly what's going on. You can say, hey, listen, I'm pretty full. Can I get that to you tomorrow? Because you know that you got a block of time over here that's a wild card where you can catch up. And you say, hey, can I get that to you tomorrow at 2? Now, they may say, no, I need it now. And you can adjust and you can figure it out in that. But make them kind of fight for it. Like it's appropriate. Make them say, hey, I can get that to you tomorrow at 2. Would that work for you? Then let them say, yeah, it'll work. In fact, most of the time, I've seen this happen in your favor. When I start coaching people to do this, they start saying, John, I started telling everybody, like, I can get that to you by tomorrow, or I can get that to you by Thursday at 2. Is that all right? It's okay. Most people's emergency, what sounded like, I need this ASAP, and you were going to drop it and rearrange your whole schedule to get it done, can be done in 2 days. But you're not intentional. You don't know. So you just kind of go, oh, I got to get that done right now. I got to figure it out. And you're running frantic all over the place and you don't have any idea of what you're doing. So get to a no-gap schedule. You can always change it. You can always make an audible. You can always adjust. But I would rather you start your day knowing exactly what you're going to be doing, when you're going to be doing it, what you're going to work on. Because that's the first step to getting successful with your schedule. If you'll start working towards a no-gap schedule, and you'll start challenging yourself. I'm not saying get so organized and so detailed that you have no room for anything. Again, maybe you've got a wild card block. Maybe you've got a block of time that's check email. But don't check your email all day, every day, because that's what you'll always do. It's the path of least resistance. When we don't know what to do, guess what we do? Check our emails. And then we get all frantic and we go, oh my gosh, I got to respond to them. I got to do that. And our day's going crazy. And we end the day and we go home and we go, oh, I'm so that I was so busy. Well, what did you get done? Oh, I don't even know, right? Because it's like you were running frantic throughout the day, just running everywhere, and you were all over the place, and your day ends. Now, I would love for you to get to a no-gap schedule. Side note, even in your personal life. When you go home in the evening, that you know exactly what you're going to be doing. Hey, I got a block of time where I'm going to hang with the family. I know we're going to do dinner here. We're going to have some fun, maybe watch a movie, maybe catch up on a show, maybe read, whatever it is. And then I know that I'm going to bed at this time because it's important that I get to bed at this time so that I'm ready for that next day. You get the point. You need to be as intentional about your personal life as you do your work life. If you'll start doing that, I'm telling you guys, the secret to your success is in your schedule. I want you to work on a no-gap schedule. If you got questions, reach out to me. I would love to be able to connect with you, coach you, help you. It's what I love doing with leaders, is helping them get to be more productive and more successful. So hopefully this is a good Kickstarter for you to get intentional about your calendar. Don't go from 0 to 1,000 miles an hour overnight and go crazy, but start somewhere. I don't care if you just start blocking out 3 things on your calendar. At least they're better than just having none. So start somewhere and start amping it up over time so that you can be more successful. Guys, go check out johnbarrettleadership.com for more resources, tips, ways that you can level up in your leadership. Reach out to us today so we can help take you and your team to the next level.